All right, guys. Well, what do you know? We're back at it. After way too long of a time, I'm back on YouTube. And with the release of the new free DLC for Mirage, I thought I'd hop in the game, check out the new parkour mechanics, because we've been graced with a manual jump option. And so we're going to check that out today. I have done some very minimal testing with it. This is not going to be an extensive advanced guide on the mechanics, but I figured out a couple of main important aspects of it that I wanted to share with you guys, as well as at least a currently functional control scheme, custom control scheme similar to the one I used before, that I think a lot of you guys are going to appreciate if you haven't figured out your own yet. So without further ado, let's hop in the menu. Go to options. We're going to go to controls, and I reset everything. So I'm showing you guys how you do this right when you launch the game after downloading the update. So you're going to go to gameplay first, and you're going to turn on free jump. When it asks if you want the modern controls, just go ahead and hold down the option for no, because we're going to be changing that anyway. And then back inside eject mode, set that to free. And then you're going to go over to the controls tab. Go to, keep in mind, this is me using controller, which I prefer for these games, so I'm not covering mouse and keyboard stuff. That's up to you guys. But customize controls under the controller section. In this first tab, you're going to leave free run as the default. I'm using a PlayStation controller, so that's why you see these glitches. If you're on Xbox, same idea, just convert the buttons. Anyway, so sprint, lunge, gallop, we're going to change that from its default of left click to right trigger or R2, and set the mode to hold as opposed to toggle. Free jump, we're going to set that to left bumper. I'll get into that a little bit in a second, why that works and why so far it seems like the best option for me. But let's move on with the other stuff. So focus camera, I like to set that to down on D-pad, because that's also what I'm using for target lock. This other stuff that doesn't have to do with the movement is mostly personal preference. I'm just going to show you guys anyway. Gameplay actions, we're going to go here. I like to have eagle vision on left stick. Whistle, I like to change to the other side because that's what it is in Valhalla. Same with calm mount. So it's just what I'm used to there. Assassin's focus, change this to toggle. It lets you enter Assassin's focus way more quickly, which is useful if you want to do that in midair, for example. See, all that should stay the same. Over here, I change heal to right on the D-pad. Lock target is going to be, as I mentioned previously, down. It's the same thing as the camera focus thingamajig. Tools wheel is going to be left stick. Keep in mind, this is the same input as I'm using for eagle vision, wherever that went. Yeah, but it actually works flawlessly, as I was just realizing. This is something new I just was experimenting with. Anyway, I'm going to close out of there, confirm the like when it says there's conflicts, just confirm that, because there's actually no issues as far as I can tell. As I was saying earlier, left stick, well, it did work. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so left stick, if you just tap it once, toggles eagle vision, cool. If you hold it down, you get your nice little wheel here, and using the different objects works as well, which is really nice. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the actual parkour stuff. So holding R2 or right trigger causes Basim to sprint, which is similar to what I had before. It's actually the same as what I had before. Causes him to sprint. That's great. While you're sprinting, he just moves fast. Tapping left bumper or L1, as you can see, doesn't actually cause him to jump, and you're probably like, wait, what the heck? Well, that's because the free jump option actually needs to have the parkour up held down for it to work. So what that means is if you're sprinting, or if you're not sprinting and you hold down A or cross, if you're on PlayStation, A on Xbox, if you hold that down and then tap left bumper or L1, then Basim does the manual jump, just as expected. And the cool thing with this is it still works perfectly fine as a parry mechanic and as a jump mechanic, so that's nice. So with that in mind, now if we go on the wall, a couple things to note. With these advanced options turned on, tapping cross on PlayStation or A on Xbox no longer causes Basim to do the ejects, even if I'm like going to the side and stuff. The cool thing about this actually is that it means I can now option or choose, like, what do you call it? Choose specifically what I want to do. I can choose to do the side hops like this, right? Or if I hold down parkour up and then go sideways and tap the manual jump button, which is L1 or left bumper, then he does the eject. So now I have options as opposed to before when it was a context dependent eject mechanic, which meant if I were doing that parkour up input here, he would just eject to the thing and you wouldn't have the option to side hop. And then in other places where you want to do a freeform eject, he would just side hop and you didn't have the option to do the eject. That was a whole word salad that I just spat out, so hopefully it made some sense. Hopefully you guys would get the points I'm trying to get across. Anyway, everything else works the same. My vaults, I just hold down the parkour up button, or I guess specifically the, what do you call it? Like if I hold down right trigger and the parkour up button at the same time, he'll vault over stuff, which is cool. No changes there. Something interesting I already noticed just in the first few minutes of playing around with this is with the manual jump, I can actually hop into these windows and hop out of them like that, which is kind of cool. Some interesting implications there. Or you can obviously just vault through them. But yeah, that's pretty much all I figured out so far. I didn't want this video to run too long. So maybe later on, if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments. Give a like on the video if you want to see me maybe do a new parkour guide for the game. Obviously, I made one when it came out way back when, and that didn't account for all these new mechanics they've added in. So I have yet to try the DLC out apart from these mechanics. So hopefully that'll be cool. I'll let you guys know what I think, hopefully. Hopefully I'll post again in the not too distant future. It's been a really long time. Life's been crazy. If you made it this far in the video and you're interested in hearing me blab about that, I guess you can stick around and I'll just mention the reason for me not posting basically is I just have not had the motivation to post to my channel at all. Nothing that I felt passionate about in terms of content creation with these games. Honestly, in general, I've kind of taken a pretty big hiatus from playing the Assassin's Creed games, but a ton of other games I've been playing. Life itself, like real life, has been pretty hectic and stressful and all sorts of stuff. Like, I mean, I don't want to go into too many details, but there was a death in my wife's family and just a ton of stuff going on. So it's been wild, but we're hanging in there. And I'm honestly really pumped about this new DLC, especially with these new mechanics. So I'm going to be checking that out and hopefully I'll be posting more content. So if you guys like it, drop a like, comment, and I appreciate all of you. And I'll see you guys sometime in the future.